one wasn't.
Begrudgingly.
You picked that?
No, it wasn't grudgingly.
That's actually a word I picked up last week. Begrudgingly.
I wasn't
You liked my
begrudgingly
drink.
liked it last week.
Remember
I
his
liked
face?
it last week.
Chris, I wish you had the clip. We could rewind.
Bro,
Show David.
it said, I took the shot, and I'm like, that wasn't bad.
Can you even see me? I feel like I'm one with the couch. Why are the lights so bright on this side?
I like the brightness.
The white guys are fading out.
This is dope.
It's funny because our guest is actually just as white as you are.
As you are, maybe.
No.
No,
as you are.
David is whiter.
Shut the fuck
He kind of is though.
David
How
is
do you guys get
It's
this?
okay.
David is dark. He can't help it.
And Trace isn't like me and this motherfucker. Like honestly,
no,
bro.
I'm darker than
Why are you trying to group black
It's not
people
even. It's
with
not even close.
Ah,
You want to be black and
what's with our friends, bro?
I'm mocha.
I'm Mocha.
I am
Are you the
mocha.
only?
chestnut.
Are you the only mocha here?
He's the mocha only.
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, bro.
We've got way
What
too
were you
much
gonna
time on
say?
our hands.
Actually, the first topic was you were going to bring it up.
Oh, he's talking about Mother
Something
Nature
about
being a
bitch.
bitch
I
and
was saying-
bitches walking
I was
on all
just talking
floors.
about how.
Oh, sorry. Can I cut you real quick?
No,
I guess
yeah.
so.
There's more snow in Atlanta than there is in Toronto.
Yeah.
that is amazing.
That's crazy.
It's not the
fucking
first
great.
time, though.
No, but
That
it's
ha-
crazy.
That happened
Because
last
it's
year
in
too.
Georgia, and he put up a picture
Yeah.
on Facebook, and he's shoveling.
Yeah.
I'm like, shoveling? I had to show him a picture. I'm like, this is outside here.
Where did
We
he
had
get a shovel? Is
leaves.
the question.
He's from New Jersey, so
Okay.
he brought it down. Someone told him to get rid of it, and something just told him
Not
let
to.
it be.
Because first of all, most of the time right now,
Close that?
the last time Atlanta had a lot of snow, the whole city shut down because they're not prepared for
'cause
it.
they're not-
Yeah.
yeah,
They
exactly.
don't have the
That
equipment.
was last year. They got snow last year too. This has been
Like 3 years in a row.
becoming a thing.
But
now,
to s-
yeah.
but to see that level of snow and then we have nothing.
That's fine. We had snow today.
Why?
No, but not that level of
Not
Again,
that level of snow.
listen, guys, it snowed today.
Told you, man. Mother Nature's.
All I know
bitch.
is that when I was on the road today,
So where?
there was snow. It wasn't a lot, but it's still
There
snow.
was a couple little flurries.
That's fine. That's all I needed.
A couple McFlurries.
couple who?
McFlurries.
I didn't hear McFlurries.
Okay, so what were you saying, Emo? I didn't want to cut you off.
I was like, what? You didn't go there, Mo. You didn't say
What
that.
did you hear?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
So anyways.
So what were we talking about?
Okay. Making sure no one else was going to cut in there.
Okay.
No, how people are oversensitive, basically. You
Okay.
said the word bitch, and I was.
You didn't expect it from the guy in the suit, huh?
Well, people are oversensitive,
Well, I mean, it's
whole
gotten
thing.
it's gotten to a fucking.
but that's also, my opinion based on diet.
What?
okay, now
some
we're
people's
tying-
diets-
Now we're tying the subjects together.
Right,
Hold
but
on.
some people's diets
Can we get there?
make them real fucking sensitive.
Can you let a subject resolve itself of its own volition?
How's that happen?
It revolves itself of its own volition. It happens organically, and then we move to the next
Well,
subject.
No, I'm not
You're
I'm not
just
changing
you're just
subject.
injecting.
I'm injecting stuff. Inject the topic. Inject subject matter. Inject an opinion.
And he keeps doing that when he does it.
Inject.
Okay.
So, on
Hey.
Facebook, I did this whole thing. It said
Did you?
trigger words of 2017.
Oh, guy.
Yo, the number of words that trigger people.
What was
shows
the
how
what was
much.
the most popular?
It's got to be amazing.
Or what
Most
did
popular,
people
like-
react to the most?
The ones they added was like Weinstein, sexual harassment,
Yeah.
rape,
Well, we've talked about that a lot.
Bitcoin, flat Earth.
How does Bitcoin
Oh yeah, flat Earth
irritate
was the other
people?
one. No,
It
it's not,
irritates some
it's not
people,
irritating.
but it's like
It's
How's
just-
that a
it
trigger
triggers
word?
them right away. As soon as someone says Bitcoin, everybody jumps on that status. You know what I mean? Everybody jumps to speak about it. They're either a professional
And it's
about
hot
it,
right now.
or they want to know exactly.
Yeah.
Loom was one.
Coins is hot.
It's just like different trigger words that people go off.
Like I
Look
understand.
at, even you had that argument with Spidey.
He's sensitive.
As soon as you said autistic, trigger. You know what I mean? Like so many words out here that you can't say now.
Transgender, can't say.
You can't say trans.
Of course you can.
Well, gay,
Can't say tranny.
tranny.
You can't say trans.
No, like there's things like.
But you have to say trans.
Okay, but
you
like,
have to say
here's
trans.
the joke
Yeah.
though. Here's the joke though.
It's like
It's
equal, but
But
Same,
as
same.
you
You can't
say
even-
it, people are watching what
you
you're saying.
can't
and what you're
even.
saying, you know what I mean?
You can't even, because it's past now for those who maybe not know. If you address somebody by sir,
yeah.
and I don't know
Yeah.
that you don't want to be addressed as sir,
Yep.
you might want ma'am. I could get fined for that or charged for that, not knowing. I'm sorry, that's kind of ignorant because until you tell me you don't want to be addressed that way,
But you're
I'm
not
gonna
supposed to assume their gender.
Did we?
It's like he and she. You can't say he and she anymore. There's a whole nother word.
There's
Yeah.
something
they,
like
Did-
they,
did-
they
nine
and them.
different- yeah.
It's
No,
more
it's
than
they
that.
and them.
It's more than that. It's like 38 different.
Okay, yeah.
Did we
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
up
yeah.
the?
No, it's not even
No.
38. There's
Jordan
60
Peterson?
something different.
Yeah,
I think
something like
there's-
that. Jordan
I think
Peterson.
there's 123 of them.
No, 60 something. Because I remember my daughter was telling me. She learned it
Yeah,
in class. And
it's
she's
a
like,
lot.
there's like 67.
Where did she
60.
go?
I heard
Those in
30. I
Barry.
heard 30
Oh,
something
okay.
before, but yeah.
Jordan Peterson,
I'm not
the
sure.
professor
Okay.
at, I think he's at York. I could be wrong, but he got into whole shit about not addressing people with the pronouns that that they want to be called.
Yeah.
And it's a whole, like, if you go on YouTube and you put in Jordan Peterson, it's probably the first thing that's going to come up. He's outside. There's a bunch of students around him, and it's like him against like 80 people. Like, they're just like, you know, you should be more sensitive.
Yeah.
You should be more.
Cognizant.
Do you want to do this?
Keep taking the words.
Listen,
But like he's being vilified for it now because he's not
Yo,
using the
end
terms
of the
that they
day
want
But
to
how is he
use.
supposed to know?
There's
Right.
a bunch of them.
No,
Like, there's
how-
Yeah.
so many.
like he said, how is he supposed to know? Unless you physically tell me this is what you want to be referred to as, I will never know, and I'm going to refer to you as I feel it is deemed necessary. I see someone on a vehicle, I say either good morning, sir, ma'am, whatever, but it's what I see deemed necessary.
Boy.
If you tell me, like,
Boy.
I mentioned this up before, I don't like being called buddy. Don't call me that. But you're not gonna know.
That's a Jamaican thing, though.
But you're not gonna know
It's
that.
also a white thing.
White people like to call people buddy.
And it's
Yeah.
funny because in Montreal, I brought this up one time to a bunch of my black friends. I was
Yeah.
like, buddy is like the white equivalent of,
friend.
The N word?
Yeah.
Okay.
like we say it like
Hey, buddy.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah.
And so that whenever I would say it to them after, they'd be like, hey, oh.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I don't like being called it, but you never know until I tell you. Yo, don't call me buddy.
Yeah, what if
And if I tell you,
yeah.
and if I tell you, then you say it again, we have a problem.
How about bad? You okay with bad?
No, bad. I'm not from them parts. But there's a thing called there's a campaign about making sure you referred people to whatever.
Yeah.
And there's the ad that I see every fucking
ding, ding.
day is a text message talking about something, and it's like, oh, like a
Such
bunch
and
of
such.
canceled text messages about, oh, you're one of them trannies, or you're one of them queer people, you're one of this, or you're one of that, and they're all canceled, and it says something nonsensical, and then like a reply like, thank you. Again, unless you tell me, how the fuck am I supposed to know?
Yeah, it's
So it's a kissing game out here.
Yeah, it's a tough.
It used to be only like politics and religion that people would go crazy about.
Well, it's
Now
we've
it's
gone down this
everything,
fucking fairy
everything.
hole that's like, it's just, everyone's way too sensitive on too many subjects now.
Yeah.
On that, on racism, on, what was the other thing we were talking about earlier that was,
Politics.
yeah, it's just literally
There's-
across the board. It's,
There's a
Sensitive.
video this girl said, you know, we've already opened Pandora's box pretty much. Once you allow one thing to
allow
happen,
everything.
you allow everything. Because now you have transgender, right? You have there's something else that you
Transracial?
transracial. You got
transracial?
trans disabled. So
It's
the
the
white girl
person
that
in the white-
pretended that she was black because she felt deep down inside that
She
she was really black.
identified as black.
Right.
She identified
Then there's
as black.
trans disabled, right? Where people physically harmed themselves to be disabled. This lady poured bleach in her eyes because she felt she was blind. This guy cut off his arm because he felt like an amputee, right? And they allowed this shit. Now she's saying that she saw in the newspaper this guy had an ad looking for a nanny because he feels he is a child. He identifies as a child, so he's looking for someone to take care of him. So
Yeah,
now,
that's
what's cisgender?
Oh, yeah, CIS, gender. Yeah, cis.
Is
cis,
it
cis.
the thing?
Yeah, that's what it's called. CIS. I've always wondered
Oh,
what
yeah.
cis actually stood for. I don't get it yet.
Yeah, no.
But there's so many, like, I feel like I
Because,
think I
oh
got
yeah,
some
in the
shit.
States now, are you male at birth? Are you male, female, or X? How would you shut the fuck up? Do you have a dick or a vagina? Which one? When you come out? Like, let
I've
the
been
child
to-
figure this shit out.
beat.
Hey!
It's that time again.
You know what I'm talking about.
Don't make me spell it out.
Actually, before we take the shot,
Why?
isn't mom coming?
No, mom's never coming.
Mom! Take your headphones out. Somebody's supposed to be knocking at the door.
You're busy crocheting. I need some socks.
She's making that
Wait,
shot
did
for
mom's
shit.
voice get deeper?
She loves Drake.
Yo, pour out.
For that
I'm
one.
all your friends here, and he's really, really white.
Yo, I need some socks.
Let him in.
Yo, come on in.
What up, what up, what up?
Hey, wagwan.
There.
Good,
So,
man.
so I
Welcome
was
to the
hearing,
Spice Box.
I was hearing about this this white talk, by the way. From outside, and I said, yo, I'm gonna talk to them when I get there. You know?
Whatever you identify as.
Wait, were you
What do you identify as?
Wait,
your
were you
favorite,
watching
your favorite
us,
white skin.
Were you watching us on MaxNow.tv?
Yeah, man.
Okay.
Come on, man. Come on, of course, man. Jeez.
Channel
Okay.
MXM1.
MXM1.
Right on my phone, man.
Oh, okay.
Wait,
Come
what
on, man.
channel is that? Where can people see the rest of the show? 'Cause we're just-
MaxNow.tv, channel MXM1. Make
Okay.
sure you tune in,
Okay.
or you're missing the shit. Like,
You know, what are they missing, though?
the shit.
That's
A little bit of that. Hold on. Might be in my sleeve. No, that's
Oh.
not so-
Tune in.
He had
Be
something
there.
up his sleeve. Most
good, Kaylee.
musicians
Kaylee says hi.
don't.
Hey, Kaylee.
Most
tune in,
You
musicians
live, you
don't have
laughing.
anything
Oh,
up
what
their
up,
sleeve.
what up? Who's
So,
that? Who's that?
Well, yeah,
Oh, yeah.
We jump in.
Oh,
So
bunch of
before
them.
the third white guy
up, Jamie?
joined the show, we have to do this shot.
Yeah.
Finally, he claimed his whiteness.
Yes.
Listen, man, it's not gonna die.
Finally.
So I'll just take it for the show,
Like I said,
just
it's,
like
whatever, it's however you identify.
Pause.
whatever I identify as.
Let's go.
That's what we do.
See?
I won't
Double
be
tap
chased.
first time.
Woo.
I won't be sensitive.
Second guest in a row.
Oh, yeah?
I won't be sensitive.
that did
Yeah,
the double
last
tap.
week.
Yeah,
last
my
week.
man.
Yeah, we got to do the double tap again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I won't be sensitive to what you guys want to, you know.
Before anything, let us introduce our guest.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I didn't get to do that.
Can we do that?
Of
course.
No, I don't. No, I was just gonna call him the white guy. So.
The way.
So our guest today, hailing from the hard streets of Ottawa,
Jeez.
Hard.
The capital.
the capital,
Cap City,
You've
baby.
been corrected.
MC.
MC.
No, not the DJ. Sorry.
Hey, man, I'm on the radio.
Radio host.
I guess I DJ. I press the buttons sometimes, you know?
CIUT.
Radio personality.
Radio personality. The man from Bring Your A Game. Canadian. So EH when you say A.
Hey.
Hey.
Yeah, eh?
And the
That's
man
what
who's
we have to do
holding
when we drink. Hey.
the third annual hip hop food drive event this Wednesday, the
Yes.
13th.
Yes.
None other.
At the
than
Smiling Buddha.
Dynamic.
961 College
Your
Street, I believe.
favorite light skin.
Oh, a white skin.
White skin?
According to this guy.
Your favorite white skin.
In comparison, yes, you know? Yo, thank
So
you
yes.
for having me, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
thanks
for
Thanks
coming
for
through.
coming through.
Yeah. And I'm not a big drinker, so I'm going to just put that out there right now.
How come everybody wants to make that?
I'll tell you why, though.
Disclaimer?
Let me say right away, because I already know that I can't really handle more than like 2 or 3 shots. I'll be honest. Like, you know, I'm one of those people that I drink like 3 or 4 and you know, so I'm a home. I know myself. You got to
Right,
hold
right,
your
right.
composure when you know. So I
You
brought
know
the
what
vape
that-
then, just in case.
Oh, that's
So
good.
every time you guys do the shot, I'm going to hit the vape,
I
you know?
saw your post earlier where you said I'm not.
I put my
much of a drinker,
disclaimer
but I'm
up,
going to the
yeah.
shot club.
I got to come
Tune
through.
in.
You got
But
to come through.
I was actually going to comment and say bring a vape.
Yeah. I was trying to hotbox the spot.
I think.
You already-
Moms
my
ain't
mind
cool
already
with
went
it.
there. My mind already went there. That was one of the first questions.
I think like Esco.
One of the first
set the
questions. Chris was
trend,
like, "So we're gonna do it here.
Yeah.
So can I
I think
smoke?"
Esco set the trend.
He's like, "No."
Right? I think Esco Levi set the trend because
Yeah, exactly.
he came on the show and just took shots of his wine with us. He really didn't take
Nice and basic.
shots of liquor. And then Maestro came on. As soon as he came in the room, he's like, I ain't getting fucked up with y'all.
You guys ain't getting me all fucked up.
Did he get fucked up?
That's number one.
He said that even at his listening party when I spoke.
He was
to him.
telling us that
First
from
thing he
time.
said too, he's like,
I'm not drinking.
"Yeah, I'm not getting fucked up with y'all."
Yeah, he
That-
wasn't
That
about
didn't
it.
last, though. That didn't work.
No.
it
Maestro
was
was good.
decent.
He was good.
Okay.
He was good.
He had
Stuck
cheddar
to
shots.
yeah, he had cheddar
Cheddar
shots.
shots. So,
However, I'm glad that
I'm going to
he-
take them too then.
no problem.
Drinking too, and look what happened to him.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Shout out to Leandro. I ain't forgot. We're still doing that run over to the bakery spot.
But and I said that to say I had a car accident on Sunday last
Yeah, I
Sunday.
saw that post too.
And I wasn't drinking, by the way.
Okay.
But I figured, I'm gonna drive down here.
Yeah.
And then I use that as an excuse, you know.
And that's true because we always promote.
You know,
Yeah,
responsible
I'm saying,
drinking.
like-
responsible
Yeah, yeah,
drinking,
yeah.
don't drink
However,
and drive.
Definitely.
However, I will say this.
So we don't
Damn.
always do that.
Three shots, you said?
Yeah, yeah. It might be like 3, 4. We go in.
There's always
So
treasure
hold
shots.
on,
Yeah,
hold
yeah.
on, listen
Hold
to
on,
this. That
hold on.
becomes 6 because we'll split it in
Yeah.
half.
What's the legal thing? You can't. How many shots can
We
you
don't
have?
know about that. See, I was actually thinking about that the other day, but we don't know
You
about
need like
that.
a breathalyzer here.
Everyone's
so
body,
when you do it-
everyone's body weight is different, so
Yeah.
it's,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
depends
But
on your
you're here
body
for a
weight.
couple hours, so your little half shots times.
Times 2. All right.
You got some water at
Let
your
me-
feet.
let me get
And like you
comfortable
said, we
there.
got a couch you can sleep it off of.
You know what I mean?
But,
Worst case scenario.
Mom, he's okay to sleep over?
Yeah, yeah. That's cool. All right.
he did say 3 or 4 is his threshold. Right?
Yeah.
Well, you know,
Cheddar shots.
That's like an hour in at least, right?
that
We
gives
good.
me-
We
yeah.
good.
No, no,
we
it's
good.
treasure shots. So
We can see what you can do after
time.
4.
that gives me an idea. We haven't had a challenge, you know.
We haven't had a challenge in a while.
So we
the
might have to
challenge?
get a verse after about 4 shots. Then you know?
Jeez, if I could even remember. You know,
Well,
that's one thing.
that's part
Even
of
when
the
I
challenge.
perform, like I try not to drink too much before I perform
Yeah.
for that reason.
Yeah, me
'cause
too.
They used to, yo, tell me about that time you performed, bro. You remember that shit? There was. I don't even remember exactly.
First
We've
of
done so
all-
many things. We've been at the same places together, but there was one show where we went on. It was me, you. I don't know if Special K was it. There was a couple MCs in the
Okay.
building. But you went, oh no, it was me, you, and Magnus.
Yeah,
we went up to
okay.
spit the track,
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
forgot your bars. Magnus forgot their bars. Everybody, you don't remember that?
Oh,
I'm
okay,
gonna put
I
you on
do,
the spot.
That was. That,
Were you drunk?
that wasn't because I was drunk.
It's because we didn't know the song yet.
It was a feature joint. So
I
it's,
remember.
you
We didn't
know-
even
you know-
practice that. We
yeah,
went up. We were like,
exactly.
yo.
No, that was it.
And that night I didn't drink purposely, so that.
So you do it.
That was
know,
one of
I
those
think
things.
I held it down.
I wrote my verse one time.
I remember.
And then that was it. You know, like.
That's what it was.
And it's not.
But you
it's a-
freestyled, though.
no, it's a
I'll give it to you.
complicated
You
verse.
I think the
freestyle,
first
though.
time I saw Mo perform was in Sudbury. R.A. the Rugged Man.
Yeah, that's time.
That was the first
Yeah, that
time I
was
saw
at,
you perform,
yeah.
and you were
I
drunk.
wasn't even supposed to perform.
You were
Yeah.
drunk out of your mind, and you did your whole set,
Yeah.
no stumbling, knew his lyrics. I was like, the only time I've ever seen that is Spesh K. You and Spesh K are the only guys I've seen who could drink before a show, start their set, get through it, and then go back to what they
problem.
did.
And then trip off stage at the end. Like, oh. It's like,
I feel like I gotta smoke. I gotta
You
smoke
wouldn't
before
know
the
about
show.
tripping.
I don't trip.
Hold on,
trip.
let me move these things out.
Yeah, move those out the
I
way
ain't knock
because he has
anything
a
yet.
habit, bro. He has a habit of dropping something every episode.
Every episode.
Yo, put a cork on
Yeah,
that.
put
B.
something there.
Before-
You don't want mama being mad.
Yo,
and
put a
stuff.
cork on this before he goes and touches that too.
Listen.
So,
Listen,
Mr.
Just sit on
your
your
favorite
hands.
white skin.
Put the dynamic before that, at least, man.
All right, your favorite white skin.
You know what he's talking about. Don't make him spell it out.
Jeez.
Tell us a little bit about Bring Your A Game. When did that come about?
The blog, man. 2010. I started.
I was gonna say that's been from
yeah,
time because
yeah.
I remember sending shit when I lived in Montreal.
Yeah. 2010, I started. I moved from Ottawa up to Toronto.
Okay.
And at the time that I moved up, I felt like there wasn't that many like platforms or blogs at the time that were really putting on just for Canadian hip hop.
Right.
You know, you have some that were dedicated to it, but they were also still messing with the States and the international stuff. And I felt like there was really none just dedicated just to Canada.
Right.
So yeah, man, I came up with the name Bring Your A Game. Thought it was catchy,
Yeah.
and ran with it. Started just posting up stuff myself that I came across as a fan online, and probably within like the first like 3-4 months, like submissions just started coming in like crazy, and
Yeah.
it hasn't stopped since.
Nice.
So yeah, that's really what the blog is about. And then about 2 years ago, so I've always been in the radio. I did like 2 radio shows in Ottawa
Okay.
Okay.
before coming up to Toronto, and then I took that whole break from like 2010 to 2 years ago off radio, and I said, yo, I need to start the radio show. I think Bringing A Game would be dope to put on the radio. So I went and volunteered at CIUT for like at least 3-4 months. I put in like going there two times a week at least, just to kind of help out,
Right.
change records around, and you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in the station, and just do like
Pay your dues.
yeah, exactly. And then after a couple months, I put in a proposal, and I got the show, man.
Nice. Congrats.
And from there, it's just been lovely. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like the response. Every week we have interviews. you know, you guys know what it's about, man. You guys are building what you're doing. man.
You know, we gotta do our thing, you know.
Yeah, you guys are
We've
killing
been
it.
on Bring Your A Game too.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't. I haven't.
You
I
haven't?
haven't.
Nah, I've been there.
Well, now when you calling me
Been
white
there.
skin, you
Trace
ain't gonna
has
come
been
on my
Well,
show.
first of
But,
all,
yeah.
Mr. Dynamic, aka your favorite white skin.
Yeah.
If I'm white, you white too, bro.
I'm with that.
They
We all
calling me
white.
white
It's
up in
all
this-
white. It's all
They
white.
calling me white up in this motherfucker.
What's been the most strange interview you've done? Because you've done it for what, 7 years now? With the,
Yeah, I'm not gonna name the artist.
Why not? Why do people do that?
You know, I'm not
Wait,
gonna name
wait,
the artist.
They
Maybe
want to
we'll
name
ask
all
him
the
listen
people
to
that
the
are
show.
dope, but then the
Well, it's like a true serum, right? Oh man.
the one what we should avoid. No one wants us like the worst person you worked with. I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
The weirdest person. I'm not gonna say that.
I
name.
think we're too easy on people too.
Yeah,
I think we let them get away
You
with
should have
it.
asked me that later on,
Yeah.
like
No,
a
I
couple
can ask you
drinks
that
in.
now. Just make you.
Oh, no.
Yeah, but
Oh,
now
no.
you would have got me later, like you said.
but you have to understand, you're an interviewer
Dougie,
too.
That's what I'm saying.
We've got a bunch of questions for
I
you.
know, man. I'm waiting. I've been thinking, what they gonna ask me? What they gonna ask me?
Mishka's glad that I shaved my mustache.
No, the weirdest interview though was what happened. Essentially, was the artists came in, and I dapped up one of the artists. I didn't dap up the other one just because I was so busy.
Yeah.
I think the other one kind of took offense to it. And I've heard of these guys' music before.
Oh, so it's a group. Go
yeah,
ahead.
yeah.
Go ahead.
I'm smooth. I'm smooth. I'm
Can
smooth.
we know what city they're
It
from?
is a duo.
They're from Canada, all right.
Okay.
And so yeah, so you know they came through, and I guess you guys have been to the show before, so you know how it is when you're on the other side of the booth. I'm on this side, and we could hear them talking, you know, a whole lot. But I guess they didn't think that we could hear them. So it already became like an awkward kind of thing. They weren't saying anything too bad. It was just like enough that I was like,
something was
oh, what's up? And then
was
the
Migos
music,
and Joe Budden
we're all
type
about playing clean music on the show. So the music that we asked to have submitted wasn't clean. None of it was clean, but we didn't, and sometimes we don't get a chance, like, to be honest, to hear it before.
Right.
Like, we just expect that you're a professional artist.
Yeah,
You're going to come
you should
through
know,
with,
yeah,
you know,
Clean.
with
I
clean
had one
stuff.
slide through one time, and they looked at me like,
Especially if you're mixing it.
It happens, you know what I mean? And I get it, but essentially, at the end of the day, all the songs were bad, you know what I mean? And like, in terms of cursing, the music was dope. And then, yeah, just like during the interview, it was hostile, you know what I mean? Like, I'm asking questions, and it's
Were
like,
you getting it for both of them or for the one?
I was asking questions to both of them, and one of them was really giving, but the other one was feeding off the energy of the other one. You know
Yeah,
what I
because
mean?
they're a duo.
Right, exactly. And so it just turned into an awkward interview, like, and that's probably like
How long was that interview? How long did that go on for? How long did that before you?
probably like 20 minutes. I mean, I kept it going. You know what I mean? I didn't play because
What year was this roughly?
yeah, exactly. I checked the blog. It's in the day.
I think I already figured
go
it
back
out.
and listen.
I think I already figured it out. You know, there's not too many duos in the city.
Yeah,
So, you know, I kind of
there's a few.
already, we probably already figured it out.
But yeah, man. At the end of the day, you know, I pushed through because I've been doing interviews for a long
Oh,
time.
you got to
and-
keep it pro.
Yeah, exactly. Word to Chris Jackson. You know.
Gun
But,
fingers.
yeah, that was probably the most awkward one. Just
Chris?
interviewing somebody and they're being hostile to.
So
Like, you
so-
came here to get your music out to the people.
Yeah.
And I'm asking you, like, I don't know your stuff at
So
all.
see, this way you need someone like me who would be like, "Yo, what the fuck's your problem?"
Yeah, get
Yeah,
out,
we do.
get
Since
off
you
the
want
show right
since
now.
you want to clean. No, I'm not asking straight. Yo, so
No, I
what's
need
the problem?
security in there, like just to pull them out. Get out.
No, I mean like,
No, but it's like you need your duo
Yeah.
so that you can play the good cop, bad cop.
not even that. Like, you just need somebody to be like, "Yo, so what's with the hostility, bro? Like,
Yeah.
you guys good?"
Almost call them out like live on the air.
I'm itchy,
Yeah.
bro. Like, can I just scratch my hand without being like, "Hey, fuck you"?
Oh man, I'm dying already. No, I'm joking.
Like seriously, like, you know,
Enough.
no, I feel that.
Allison, Caitlin, Bruno, Dougie, what up?
is that Bruno
Kevin?
Mars?
Yeah. Mishka,
Nice.
Carl, Christopher.
Bruno
Sky,
Mars is watching.
Adam, Candace. Tune into Max.
Face palm.
Because that's where we are.
I'll see you there.
Yeah, I just want to say something though. I like that you guys got the logos and everything on these shot, you know,
Got a brand.
shot glasses.
Things, you know?
You got to start
You're
giving some
supposed to give them a
giveaways,
chance
so
of
when I come, I can take one home with me.
Oh no, you
That
can
was
take
yours.
that.
That's
yours.
mine.
Yeah, it's yours.
Oh, that's good. I was gonna take it anyway.
See, white boys be stealing too.
Yeah, you know, that's the half black side of me.
Hey.
And that would
Sorry.
that that would lead us to our
Actually, yo,
The best part of the whole thing is, and Mo didn't laugh. I was like,
On either side.
I can do that though. I can joke like that.
No, but
you
he
know what I mean?
didn't, no, but he didn't laugh at all.
not
Like
gonna-
he didn't
he's not
laugh for the white guy.
I was
who's
taking
stealing.
shots before you
He
guys
didn't
were even
laugh.
ready to take the shots. I'm sitting here like, yo, you guys are weak. Let's go, man.
Oh,
Let's
this
go.
guy was super.
I was sitting here ready to go in. I'm like, oh, what am I doing?
This
Let's
is
go.
this is to half and half cookies.
Yeah. Oreos, yo. Let's go.
what was that on Seinfeld called?
I know,
Unity
you got it
cookie?
ready.
What?
On Seinfeld, the Unity cookie?
The black and white.
The
cookie?
black and white
Yeah.
cookie. Sold at a Jewish bakery.
Not the Nazi place, the Nazi soup.
No.
The
Soup Nazi guy's
Not Soup
amazing.
Nazi.
Soup Nazi was
Soup,
amazing.
Soup Nazi guy's amazing.
Yeah.
Love that guy.
Talking about Soup Nazi. Tell us about the food drive.
Yes. Great segue, bro. Great segue.
Soup Nazi.
Yeah,
Black and white
let's-
cookies.
Let's
Might
start.
as well.
Let's
Third
start.
annual, so let's go.
Let's start from the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay.
What inspired it?
So I lived on my own at the age of 16, and at the time I was going to school and working a job, but still didn't have enough to pay for everything, right? Because you got to pay for bills, rent, food, everything. And there was a couple food banks in my area in Ottawa, in Lower Town area. From the hood, Cap City, from the dirty streets,
Told you guys.
So I used to go to food banks, man, to get food, from a young age. Until I realized, I didn't want to do that eventually. I wanted to be able to make more money and not have to do that. But there's a lot of people that have to go through that stuff, you know what I mean? And so I just, especially at a young, I feel like there's a demographic of probably the age of 16 to late 20s that are actually going to the food, and probably older, but that actually really need the food bank, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For whatever time. So I just feel like this is a good, good way to give back and do it. I did a food drive like this in Ottawa back in the day. It was a great turnout, successful, and then I just said, I want to start this again, and then this is the third one up here in Toronto.
Well, we're happy to be part of it, man.
Yeah,
As
sure,
soon as I
yeah.
saw that post, I was like, this is.
He mentioned it for us from
for us to be
I
on.
don't know how long ago. He's like, I think we should do.
As soon as we announced it, when you were looking for a sponsor,
Yeah, that's
it was
big.
on it.
I appreciate that, man. That's huge, and that was one thing that we wanted to do with this one, because the first two events, it's more of a out of pocket thing for me, which I don't mind doing, obviously, you know what I mean. But when it comes down to it, when we can get sponsors and get everybody involved, and the
course,
artists get paid, and things are official that way, you know what I mean. And then,
It's one thing to accept donations, but to put on an event costs money.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean, that's taking away from what can go to them.
Right, exactly.
Right.
So at the end of the day, this is a great opportunity, and every year we pick a different food bank to give back to.
Okay.
So the first year we did Daily Bread Food Bank.
Okay.
Last year we did Covenant House.
Okay.
And then this year is Parkdale
Parkdale.
Community Food Bank.
You know what? I was doing Queen Street I was driving on Queen Street for the last year, and that community has a lot of people, guaranteed just before noon.
Yeah.
I got 20 people jumping on my vehicle, getting off at the same stop.
Right.
The lineup is down the fucking block.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this fucking world, bro. It's especially North America, we are so wasteful,
Yeah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that throw out a lot of shit.
Yo, I was just I seen a post the other day about, I don't even know, I'm not even gonna name the store because I don't even remember it off top, but they had a whole bunch of nice jackets and they just cut them up. I think it was Eddie Bauer. I don't know if it was
Yeah,
Eddie
cut 'em
Bauer,
up so
right?
people can take 'em.
They cut them up or whatever and just threw them out like that in the streets. Or that. I'm just thinking man, you could have given those all
Exactly.
to at least to some people in the streets that
Bro.
needed it.
Yeah.
Whatever the case
Because
is.
people need it. I make sure that I have a bunch of, I hate jackets, first of all. I have a bunch of winter jackets that I give away,
Yeah.
right? Every year, I go out and I give away winter jackets to those who need it.
Right.
Because I don't use it. I got a new one. What the fuck am I holding on to
Yeah,
this
exactly.
one for?
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
But these people who are in the food bank, I'm like, I don't understand. I don't eat a lot of food right now because I'm trying to minimize whatever. Because I used to waste a lot. But seeing this is I'm throwing out this and you're waiting in line for an hour
Yeah.
for a bag of groceries,
Right.
That I take for granted.
Yeah, no, it's true.
It's crazy how much the price of groceries have gone up.
That's it.
How much you would spend maybe 10 years ago
Yeah.
if you would spend $50 to $100.
Like a bag of bread is $3-4 nowadays.
Crazy.
Well, it depends where you
If you want
shop.
hard
Yeah.
bread.
You could go to No Frills or you go to Metro and you
Yeah.
pay twice the price.
Yeah, it's true.
And it all
It's
depends.
crazy.
Actually, my wife has this it's Let Go or something like that, an app where it has the
Yeah,
different
yeah.
coupons and it price matches.
Yeah.
She's heavy on that. She'll go to the store and
But yeah, I
price
feel
match
like I remember
everything.
like when bread was like 67 cents or
Yeah.
something.
Bro,
Yeah.
this-
Like I
this
feel
is
like it was
what-
under a
You
dollar
can
at
still
one point.
find deals, but
You could,
but
but it's
it just
a
depends
lot
where
to
you go, yeah.
in the States,
all about
that's
where
why like couponing in the States is such a
yeah,
big deal,
extreme
Yeah.
couponing.
right?
That was dope.
However, up here,
That show was dope.
Canada has shut that shit down real quick with one line. Limited only to
Yeah.
one customer, not
Yeah.
whatever with
Yeah.
other deals.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But
Yo,
in
wasn't
the
that, and that
States-
extreme coupon thing? Weren't they doing like in the States that they make enough? Like some people actually make
Yeah.
savings off of that.
yeah,
right?
yeah,
They make
yeah,
money
because
off of it.
they figured it out. There's
Yeah.
a system
But
down there.
if you got nothing else going on, then you can spend your time doing that.
Yeah.
I don't have
it's-
time for that.
It,
shit,
it takes a lot of
but
time when
yeah.
you watch that.
Yeah.
Like
It
they
does.
don't like
that's
really
someone
get
who-
into how
yeah.
much time you have to spend doing that, but
That's
you
a
can
job.
see it.
It's
Yeah.
a job.
Yeah.
But a lot of them, if you
it's
see,
for someone who's at home or is a housewife or
But even somebody working part time
Yeah.
could do that and make the most out of it and get like so like when you see these
first of all, if
when
I
you
make,
see those episodes, you're
if
like, wow.
if I spent $300 on groceries and I didn't spend a dime, that was worth my time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
know?
true.
But these people, some of these people who are in need of your services that you're providing here, don't have that time.
Yeah.
Or they don't have that ability. Some of them have the time.
But it's useful for some people. Like I'm sure there's families right now that
Yeah.
from this event are going to be thankful for.
for sure.
Especially in this
I
time.
live in Parkdale, so I know that.
Bro, growing up, my
they
family
need it, for
depended
sure.
on
Yeah, yeah.
on donations and shit.
Yeah.
You know, when I was growing up.
And there's no shame in it. You know
No.
what I mean? At the end of the day, like I know for myself, as a kid, going to I did it because I needed it. At one point, I did feel some shame in it, but then I got past that. I was like, you know what? Forget this, man. I'm on my own. I need food. I'm gonna go get the food.
The flip side of that is there's the people that need it, and then there's the woman who pulls up in her Benz.
Bro,
and goes
Parks
and
around
goes
the
and
corner.
gets-
Yeah.
No, there's
or there's like 3 or 4 people in one house that'll go and each get it, right?
Right.
Like then.
But there's a dude who's in the line. Like I just saw him as I was driving past. He's in the line, and I'm like, he doesn't need to fuck. I know he doesn't need to be.
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And if he does need to be there, it's his fault because he got on the Jordans. He got on the True Religion jeans.
Go sell your
he
Jordans.
got on. He got on the Gucci jacket, his belt, whatever. Like you could tell the shit, like
Yeah.
the shit he spent money on.
Right before.
Right, and he's sitting there in line like $1,000 outfit. Like,
Yeah.
guys, spend your money on something else.
Yeah.
But what happens if? And I get that too, but I guess maybe at the same time there's the flip side because maybe something
You don't know
tragic
what's going
happened
on
and
in
then
life,
last
yeah.
minute,
And you
he
can't be
had
so
to
quick
take
to
his
judge,
Jordans and go
but-
to the food bank. I don't know.
Maybe
but,
it's one time.
but I get what
I'm
you're
a-
saying too,
I'm
though.
gonna
Like
tell
on
you
that
right
whole,
now.
because I'm not about buying them $1,000 Jordans.
I'm gonna tell you right now,
Yo.
if it came down to that, if I was up, and I had the ability to buy all this shit,
Yeah.
and life happened,
Take those Jordans.
I'm
go.
sorry, I'm selling this shit because there's people online buying
Right.
used Jordans
I'm with you.
for a lot of fucking money.
It's amazing
Right?
what people spend a couple $100s on
Yeah.
without even thinking. I heard a conversation with these kids, and I was like, I know they're not working. This kid's talking about buying a $300 belt.
Gucci.
And I'm like, I know you don't live on your own. It's like, I know you don't live on your own.
Bro, I heard these kids talking about buying gold fronts, and they know what they're talking about though, because they're talking about the weight of the gold. They're talking about this. They're talking
But that
about
doesn't
that.
mean they have a concept of money.
No, they have no concept of money, but they know they're talking about what they want to buy. Like there's some people that I know that have no fucking idea if their gold fronts are real or not, right? But they're talking about the stamp, this, that, grade, that. They know what they're talking about.
Right.
But I know you don't have the money for that. And if you have the money for that, whoever you're getting it from, that's like either your parents are really fucked in the head or you robbing somebody because
I'll
Well,
tell you.
a lot of people just they come for money. Their parents give them money. It's just part of it. They don't know the difference. It's part of their lifestyle, and
they weren't white.
no, that has
So
nothing to do with it. 'Cause
I
that's-
no, not yet.
Where's that chocolate? Where's that Tomer? What's that? About the
yet.
pension for a minute.
Not yet. Not yet.
I'll tell
There
you
is
something.
a point. There
There is a lot of people of all races
They have money.
that come for money, and
I'll tell you
they don't realize that all these things, or they take it for granted,
In-
and it's not necessarily even their fault because they were brought up in that.
No, in the States, more so, I understand and agree with that comment. In Canada,
here.
and no, in Canada, most parents that have money that are of melanoid color
But you're
would
white.
slap.
No, I don't agree with that.
I'll tell you something I didn't know what the fuck I was talking
I'm
about.
gonna chime in though, because I'm black and white.
Yeah.
Bam!
You know what I mean? So I've seen it from both perspectives.
He's a
and,
cookie.
And both my parents were broke. So yeah, man, I feel like
I
it
both my
doesn't.
parents were
I'm with you
broke.
on that. That it doesn't really matter on the skin color or whatever. Like I feel poverty is poverty at the end of the day.
It is true.
There's both sides that come from it. But definitely, is the mic on
This
you?
whole time.
That's good. That's good.
That's what I'm
Yeah, no, I'm with that though. Like, I think as a perspective in with poverty and the whole like being broke and rich, it doesn't matter on the skin color at all. You know what I mean? I think it's everybody, any kind of skin color is gonna come across.
I'll
it,
call
you
you.
know what I mean?
Thanks, Mom. Call him.
Speaking
We
of
missed
Shout
this.
to moms.
speaking of skin color, the Joyner Lucas video.
Oh man.
Oh man.
I had no idea who Joyner Lucas was. So when I saw the video,
Actually, even before this, just the intro to everybody. Joyner Lucas, he's an American artist, hip hop artist. He dropped a new video. It's called "I'm Not Racist."
Right.
If you watch the video, the first part.
nah, we
You wanna
good.
play it?
Let's go to it.
No.
All right, so the first part, it's a white guy talking, and the second part is a black guy talking, and it's just the conversation between like, "I'm not racist. I believe this about you guys, but it doesn't make me racist. It's
Right.
what I see on TV, and it's the
Right.
same thing from the both ends."
See
Yeah.
now,
that.
now.
Except that they both get pretty racist.
No,
Yeah.
but here's the thing though.
Before,
'cause-
before that, finish what you were gonna
yeah,
say
yeah.
before I cut
and
you
then
off.
I'll jump in that.
No, I was bringing it up because you guys wanted to bring it up. But the first time I saw it, I saw about 20 seconds of it, and I had no idea who Joyner Lucas was.
Right.
And I said, "Fuck this guy,"
Yeah, I'm with
and
you
I
on
turned
that.
it off.
I turned
Right.
it off too,
Right.
man.
So
the same
I
thing,
saw
man.
somebody posted on IG, and the first thing I said in the comments, I think I'd been drinking. I was probably drinking.
Probably.
I said,
Was
"Fuck
it Wednesday?
Joyner." I don't know. It's been a long week.
It was one of those days.
It's been a long week. Sorry.
I was drinking every day. I don't know.
Hey. But yeah, I put "fuck Joyner," and then like a day later, the guy whose page was like, "Can you explain why?" And then I watched the video. I saw the Everyday Struggle interview, and I was like, "Oh, that's Joyner Lucas, not the boy." Okay.
See, now, I like the song. I think the second verse is weaker compared to the first, right?
Agreed.
Which is why I'm glad my son did his version, because I think you put the two together, it's an equal balance in terms of whatever. I'm not racist. Everything they're saying in there is prejudice, stereotypes, is what everyone's saying there. The difference between being prejudiced, because everyone on the fucking planet is prejudiced. Prejudice has no power structure. Racism has a power structure. Bottom line. So you could be racist once you have the power structure
Yeah.
to hold somebody else down because of prejudice.
Yeah.
Fuck that. So the song "I'm Not Racist" doesn't really equate based on that until they talk about the power structure, which my son does in his
But
verse.
my question was, when I saw My Songs one, did he watch it the same way I watched it?
Oh, bro.
Did he know who Joyner Lucas was?
He probably knew
Because a
who
lot
he
of
was.
people don't know who he
He
is.
knows.
I was thrown off
He
when I
know,
said
my
that.
son knows
turned it off.
who he was, but when I watched it, my whole thing was I didn't know who it was.
Where's he from?
Who?
Joyner Lucas, I believe Massachusetts.
I didn't know who he was.
Would make you
It's very
believe that he's
specific.
white. even
Right.
more.
He's half white, half black.
And he's got a problem with Logic too,
Well,
which I found out.
Logic's
Yeah.
a whole different thing.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I heard some things about Logic.
Oh, but yeah, so I'm watching it, and my whole thing was, the song's cool. It brings a valid viewpoint. I just don't want white kids walking around singing the first verse because they think
Thinking it's cool.
it's because
And I
they
think
think
some
they're
people
making
might
a
take
point.
that out of context and not realize that what's happening, and actually, like in that first couple seconds, that's all it took.
But I don't
turned
think
it off,
that-
and you turned it off.
I don't think that he shouldn't have done it because of that.
No,
No, it's good.
No,
But
no.
what he says, what he's saying in the song, he did purposely to push buttons because
Yeah.
it's getting us talking about it. It's getting everybody talking.
that's
about
what
Well, he
everybody
went.
does.
He really gave a perspective from both sides.
it. Yeah.
I mentioned this briefly. We just watched it before the show.
Well, you just watched it.
Oh yeah, sorry, I just watched it.
He's been sick and
you
under
just watched
a
it too.
blanket somewhere.
Yeah. My blankie. That's what my blankie always.
Hold on, was that the Thundercat blankie?
Of course. And my new kid's blanket. It's gotten cold. It's gotten cold.
And you're what?
My new kid's blanket.
You're too grown to be sleeping on new kids' blanket, bro.
Bro, this thing is fucking incredible.
I was showing my age. Sorry.
It's a comforter my stepmother gave me. It's fucking.
What type of material is it?
It's like one of those.
It's like those old school kid blankets that used to have with a
Yeah,
picture
yeah,
on
yeah.
it.
Hold on,
Yeah,
hold on.
yeah.
But is it the right stuff?
I think that's what it's stuffed with. The right stuff. And you know what? I had the Thundercats on the bottom and that one on the top, and I was.
Yeah, Thundercats on the bottom.
You were right in the
and
middle
New
of the
Kids
80s.
on
They're like, what's in the middle? Me.
the white stuff.
All right. Well,
That's a good.
But you were saying,
Just that when you watch him, you guys thought it too.
Yeah,
When,
yeah,
when
no,
he's
Thunder
rapping,
Road.
you think he's white.
yeah.
Right? And I was like, did he change his voice? Or is it because it's coming out of a white guy's.
That's his
Perspective.
voice.
I think it's coming out of the
You're like-
perspective that he actually
you're like,
used
you
the
think it's white,
regular
you
voice,
know?
but because you see two different faces, you hear it two different ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I specifically heard, and I was like, okay, he's got a deep voice. And I thought that for a white guy. But his pronunciation sounded somewhat white. Like, these are little things that were going through my
But
head.
did you say he's half white, half black?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's the thing is too, because like Trezor said, it could be
But then
him.
when he got up and was like, the angry
into
black
it.
man,
But
I think he
Stepped
was
it up a
putting
little
on
bit
a little
more. Yeah,
different.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
I don't think he was putting on, it's probably just a pronunciation in the verses, right?
and
that
the-
makes
and
you
the,
sound
and the emotion.
right.
Yeah, yeah.
I wonder how the character, the white guy playing it, felt.
Saying it.
Saying, and what happens afterwards. Because if you watch movies,
You're right.
a lot of people are in character. Someone will see them and say, "Oh, you're Darth Vader. You killed."
I
You
feel,
know, like,
I feel like with something
that's a
like
bad
that, though, on set, something like that, it has to be all love after.
No, but like
You're
afterwards,
getting
like,
so
I mean-
personal.
Well, no, yeah,
afterwards,
sure,
I
yeah.
mean, people walking down the street. Like, if you're in a movie, right,
Yeah.
and you play a villain, there's some people that'll walk down the street and see
And
you
fucking hate
as the
you.
villain,
Like,
and they
yeah,
still
yeah.
have
Yeah,
those
it's
feelings.
like Steve Urkel walking down the street. Like everyone's
still-
gonna look at him as Steve Urkel. Like you're Steve Urkel.
Like, you didn't even call him Jaleel
I
White.
look at
No,
him as
exactly.
Stefan or Cal.
I call him Steve
I look
Urkel.
at him as Stefan or Cal, but
Like
Yeah.
there's
He is cleaned
there's
up.
friggin' there's a post. There's 4 black guys in the
you just
actors.
say friggin' a lot.
I do. There's
It's the
4.
white side of him.
There's it's the Calgary part of me, the Calgary side of me.
It's like this guy's trying to clean up his language.
There's 4 black actors, and it's like
Blackers.
Blackers. There's the top 2. The top 2, everybody hates, no matter what, because every single fucking movie they've been in, they're the villain, and you want to punch them in the face, right? And the bottom 2, the guys still hate them because the girls all love them, right? Because no matter what, the girls want to fuck them, and the guys like, you know, I'm trying to get some love from you, and you can't give me no love because this fucking guy's on the screen, like.
That's how I felt about Tevin Campbell until I found out other things about Tevin Campbell. Tevin Campbell, we want you on the show.
We have a few
That'd be
questions
great
for
to have
you.
Tevin Campbell.
What are we
They
on?
would.
3? This is the 3rd one now? I'm gonna start
Don't
talking.
count,
I'm gonna start mumbling and shit, you know?
don't count.
You should be
The
counting.
mumble rap, you know?
Cameron?
Is that like a
Okay, so
quintuple tap?
you are having we got off topic, but back to the food drive for a minute.
Yeah.
You're having some artists perform, correct?
Yes.
Who's performing?
I'm too drunk to
Oh,
remember. No, I'm just-
Just so you know,
With the poster in front of him.
just so you know, we're all artists. I don't know if you knew that. We're not performing. yet.
No, you're not. You're sponsored.
We're our sponsor, though.
No, I'm still waiting for the email.
It's actually
we're gonna
dope.
get the email.
There's a lot of actually now that I think about it, I mean, it's not every sponsor is an artist, but there's a lot of artists sponsoring the event, and there's a lot of artists that volunteered for the event.
That's
Right.
dope.
That's
And
good.
helping put up posters and stuff like that. So salute to all of y'all. But on the bill, we got Cass. I've been saying CVSS on the radio a lot, and then I found out it's Cass. So
Yeah, it's Cass.
I'm gonna help him out and say Cass this time.
We old, you know. Well, I'm
You know
old,
what it-
sorry.
Nah, I'm old too. You know, I'm
We spell
balding
things.
and stuff.
We
bro.
read things as they.
We still spell it out.
Yes, we got Cass, we got Yana, we got Everything on Sean, and we got Patrick.
And you
on
probably
the
got
bill.
Mindbender because he performs at anything he wants.
He's always at hip hop events. Shout out to
And he
Mindbender.
Shout out to Mindbender.
He also performs at anything he wants.
Ah,
Like I've seen it. Like he went to the KRS-One concert, not even on the bill, and he walked up after KRS-One performed. He's like, Chris, man, can I perform? He's like, do your thing.
I'm done. Go ahead.
Do your thing. Like,
Yeah.
any way you want.
He's probably the only person I know that knows probably every single rap lyric of
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
True though.
Like you see him at a concert and he's just rapping. Like
Along
they're rapping,
all
he's
the
rapping
time.
along
Even
with
from
it.
Ottawa, I
He's
know
just-
who
And then you
Mindbender
see him on
was.
the-
You know,
Bro.
just like he's a hip hop fan
He's at-
and an artist at the same time.
When Gold Stand Ray came and they were
Yeah.
performing Dundas Square,
Yeah.
they called him on stage to do
Yeah, yeah.
Old Dirty's. Well,
Yeah.
no, not Old Dirty's part, somebody else's part, because Old Dirty's son was there,
Okay.
right? But he's like,
But who else would be better than him to do Old Dirty's part?
They're true.
Yeah.
They're true.
Yeah. No,
Other
he's
than
so
Old
much of a
Dirty
fan.
Son.
Well, I guess.
Isn't there's an interview? I'm thinking with
It really,
Nardwuar
really isn't, but okay.
and Drake or whatever, and I think he mentions Mindbender
Oh,
in
yeah,
the
yeah,
interview.
yeah, he
you know,
does.
like so that's
I
how
saw
much
that
of a
interview,
fan
yeah.
this guy is. Like
Yeah.
a famous worldwide.
Yeah.
famous
You know what's
hip-hop
funny in that
Onyx, he was on
interview
stage
is
with
he,
Onyx.
he kind of
One time when we did a show with Onyx, remember that?
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
on stage and then
yeah.
they pushed him and he like flew into the speaker.
yeah.
That's another thing, but yeah.
Yeah.
What?
He's up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Mindbender, we need you on the show too.
Oh,
Yeah,
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 he's-
yeah,
that's
yeah.
coming too.
You're slow.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You know, if you would have came to the Maestro's listening party,
Coach Fresh, what up?
you would have been there to understand that Mindbender.
Minder.
Speak, Mindender.
Mindender.
Shots. You've been having 4 shots. You haven't even been having a Chester shot.
as he's otherwise known as.
Yes.
Shout out to Mindbender. He will be here. He will be here.
Yo,
Yeah.
hold on. I just caught onto something. Are these his shots?
What?
Yeah, yeah.
This is where Chester goes in, the little one.
It says the shots.
Yeah.
He's cheating.
It's only because
He's a driver.
He's the responsible one.
Saying he's cheating though, bro. I feel like this is all a lie now. You know, is your mom really here, bro? I'm saying, you know? I'm just saying, bro.
Oh shit!
Damn.
So
That's fun.
you're from Ottawa.
Yeah.
How's the Ottawa hip hop scene?
Dope. You
Is
know?
it?
What up, Tony?
Because you know what?
I'm from there, you know what I mean?
I pretty much started my hip hop career in Ottawa
Yeah.
at Cafe de Cuff.
Shout out to Cafe de Cup. I don't even know if they're still going on.
think
Shout out to
they're
open.
Cafe de Cup.
No.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was like I lived in Ottawa for about 2 years.
Did you? Where?
Sandy Hill.
Sandy Hill.
And
That's
then
big.
and then I moved to Montreal, and then we used to come back. That's when I started Famine, and then we used to come back to Ottawa like probably at least monthly, and do shows at Cafe de Cuff.
Yeah,
and that
Cafe
like
de Cuff was a spot
of-
for like
yeah.
hip hop shows
Yeah,
back in the
man.
day, man.
I will say
That's when
Ottawa
Broken
has
Bridge
some,
was
some
around.
great
That-
musicians.
yo, I
Yeah.
used to roll with Broken
Yeah,
Bridge,
yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I will
cool.
say Ottawa has some great musicians.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't know.
You haven't heard? Well, hold on. Let me give you the history, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of people that have been in Ottawa that are really dope artists. Shad used to
Yeah.
work in Ottawa. I don't know if he went to school there. I battled him back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if it was at Babylon nightclub.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I know Babylon,
Are you saying you beat him or you didn't?
He beat me.
Oh, okay.
Shout out to Shad, you know what I mean?
Just checking, just checking.
Shad's dope.
Yeah, we talked to Shad about getting him on here.
He was more of a veteran in the battle scene at the time. You know,
right.
I was trying. You know.
It'd be different now, but okay. Go ahead.
Belly's from Ottawa.
Yeah.
DL Incognito.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
Some
Yeah.
heavy
Match
hitters.
with DL.
Heavy
I know
hitters
they
from
have
Ottawa.
I know they have some artists that come, been out there like Masari's out
Yeah.
from out there. Whatever.
Yeah, there's some big
got
Like
some
the
artists.
OCP Records fam was.
Yeah, it's
out
off
of
Yeah,
Ottawa.
yeah,
Yeah,
And then even like y'all follow King of the Dot and stuff. Bender's from Ottawa.
Mindbender,
Sharon.
yeah.
You
No,
know
no,
what I mean?
no,
Like,
no.
Better, yeah.
Yeah. There's a few. You know,
Mindbender's from
I know Attorney. I believe at one point used to be in Ottawa at
Okay.
some point.
Aspects.
Aspects. Yeah, there's so many like dope artists. From Ottawa actually. And the battle scene was live back in the day too. Like. In the whole freestyle battle scene and stuff, it used to be crazy. Escrow, I don't know if you ever heard of Escrow. Escrow's a dope,
Yeah,
Escrow, yeah. So many dope acts from the scene, man.
So what made you leave Ottawa to come to the better
Music, man. And if I didn't do it, I wouldn't be on the shot club right now. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Same thing. We both. I mean, I came here from Montreal
To be
but
on the shot
we
club.
both to be on the shot club.
Yeah.
But we both came from Sudbury like long time ago.
Long time.
But it's all the same shit. Like I mean,
long
this
time, long
this
time,
is
long
the
time.
hub, really. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's, you get to a certain point, and you reach a ceiling, and you gotta keep.
A lot of dope talent, and a lot of people have moved from Ottawa and come up to Toronto too. Like
Yeah.
Harvey Stripes is another dope artist.
Yeah.
Who made the move? And,
Who?
Harvey Stripes.
Harvey Stripes is dope
Yeah,
as
you would
fuck,
never
bro.
think that he's not from Toronto.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of artists will claim Toronto after, which is only right. if you're
No.
out here. You know, at the end
No.
of
It
the day.
happens. It's like it's
It
to
ain't
me.
where
It's
you're
like
from, it's
to me.
where
You know
you're
what?
at.
It's like
Especially
it's
if you're
like
trying to be like worldwide or international.
For me now,
It's
I
easier
can
to
claim
say
Toronto
Toronto
because
that
I had a
people
kid
know
here. You know
Toronto,
what I mean? So I'm like,
then
once I left the
outside.
seed here, I done left the
planted
roots
your
in the
seed.
city.
but it's
My
like
city.
It's just where you're at. It's,
it's
just where
like
you're at.
it's like Gangstar. Neither members of Gangstar are from New York.
No,
You would
from-
never know if
from
you
Massachusetts.
no. Well,
One.
Guru's
Yeah,
from
yeah, yeah.
Boston
Yeah.
and Premier's from Texas.
Yeah.
But you know, if you listen to the music post 1990, you would think
It's
they're
New
from
York.
Brooklyn.
Yeah.
You think they invented New York hip hop?
But they are like
Premier-
they are
no,
the
Premier-
architects of
yeah, yeah.
that New York sound that
Premier
we
is Premier is that architect of
Yeah.
that sound. Guru's flow.
But you don't rate 'em.
Not necessarily.
But you don't rate them.
No, I didn't say Premier. I like Premier.
Who don't you rate? Can we have a segment
find out.
that goes at
No,
least 3
let's
minutes
not talk about
of
this
just
anymore.
David ranting
talk about
on
this shit
what
anymore.
producer he doesn't rate? Can we do that?
That's his own show.
We're gonna build a segment for David.
We
Just
need
a rant.
we need it.
You need
in
like
some
that dun,
format.
dun, dun, right before you go into
I'm
David.
Homer.
We'll get the
I'm
camera
Homer.
just on David.
What grinds my gears?
That's not
Exactly.
Homer.
That's
That's
right.
not Homer. It's Peter Griffin, but
Oh, creator. So Homer had a similar segment though.
not grind my gears.
Whatever it was.
That's
It's the
Peter
same
Griffin.
shit, bro. Like, what pisses me off? Trigger words.
What friggin' pisses me off?
Friggin' and frig. Okay, so outside of
Just know that we gave you a time to vent, and you said no. Okay, but go ahead.
right, because
Go ahead.
Emma's gonna be like,
That's enough.
blah 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 blah.
Emma, I smell smoke and it's pissing me off.
Probably one of your slutty friends.
Shout out to moms.
If my mom ever watches this show,
I sound nothing like that.
I love you, I love you, but can you just?
Okay, so
Your
outside,
mom's looking kind of light skinned.
so
my
outside,
mom's a little red.